Welcome to the Solarium, Chelle and Layla's herb-filled, sun-drenched sanctuary, where they kick off their pointy-toed shoes, put up their basomes, and holster their cursing fingers. Instead, they reach for a bit of mulled cider, a pumpkin spice muffin, and get together to craft wicked spells and magical mayhem.
It's witchcraft.
I'm Layla, and today in the Solarium, we're checking out Witchy subscription boxes. Are they worth it? Who might want one? Are they good for experienced witches or only beginners? We tested 3 of the most popular witch boxes we could find.
Actually, I had heard about these. I went on this weird internet binge like everyone else did during COVID. Honestly, that was the first time I had ever heard of subscription boxes. And we're going to get into the history of them in a few minutes, but they date back a little bit further than COVID. But something about being home all the time, I came across these and I was like, what are these? I'm intrigued. I'm interested. Is this something I should get? And so, yeah, we decided let's buy some boxes.
Since then, they've actually blown up. I see them all over online. People are always doing unboxings. And so to talk about our witch boxes, we have it with us Morgan from Inked Goddess Creations. Welcome, Morgan.
Hello. Thank you for having me. I am really excited to talk about this.
Now, before we get started, just a disclaimer, none of these boxes were provided for us. We paid out of pocket for all of these so that we could review them for our listeners. And we invited Morgan on for her expert behind-the-scenes witchy knowledge. We were on Morgan's show a few months back where we talked about some of the myths and misconceptions of witchcraft and witchery. So we are thrilled to have you back, Morgan. This is really great.
Yeah, I'm so glad.
Also, an interesting fact is every time we were looking up, you go to the old Google, and every time you Google witch boxes, you're one of the top 1 or 2 every time. So you're the witch box lady as far as I'm concerned.
Yay, thank you.
You might not think you're the witch box lady, but Google thinks you are.
Oh, good. That means that's money well spent on SEO for the website. That's great.
Now, witch boxes are a type of subscription box, and subscription boxes started back in 2010. They seem like they've been around forever, but they were really started by a company called Birchbox, which is still one of the most recognizable subscription box services. In 2010, they basically sent out boxes with trial sizes of their products for people to try out. And they started these subscription boxes and they became so popular that I guess they're still worth like $500 million a year in subscription box services. So that's pretty good money, I guess. And these are pretty amazing. I have never really done any type of subscription service except for maybe those get like 12 CDs for a penny back in the 90s.
I still owe somebody a lot of money for that, by the way. I actually, at the beginning of COVID, I got a little weird and I did one of the makeup ones. And that actually, because I had done a makeup subscription for a little while, that's why I was less hesitant to do the witch box, because I know that there's going to be people out there that are like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this. Is it worth the money? Am I going to get something? And part of the reason I was just like, screw it, let's try these boxes is because I knew that the subscription thing was the real deal and there's value in it.
All right, tangent real quick. Since you mentioned the makeup subscription, I was going to mention that because when we were at Sacred Space, you whipped out a tarot deck in the cutest little fucking tarot bag that I had ever seen.
I did.
And it turns out it's from a makeup subscription where they send you these adorable bags filled with makeup every month.
But they're perfect size for tarot decks.
Was that Ipsy?
Yes.
Are they still a thing?
Yes.
I have so many cute makeup bags from them.
They're the perfect size for tarot decks.
They are. They make wonderful tarot bags. And I'm so jealous. I almost got an Ipsy subscription just so I could get the cute damn bags.
I didn't know they were still a thing. That was like, I had it years ago.
I got it right like at the beginning of COVID. And I'm like, these bags, they're for tarot decks. Yes.
I'm not a makeup girly. I mean, I like it, but I'm not good at it. It's not my thing. But I do love bags. I like things to put things in.
Those bags are your thing.
Yeah, they really are. So when Chelle and I decided to start doing this, we'd heard a lot about subscription witchy stuff. Chelle had done it during COVID. That's been a few years now. And I've heard really positive things and I've heard really negative things. Some people said they're amazing. Some people said they're a waste of money. There was a few names that popped up every single time we did any research on this. Inked Goddess Creations always got positive marks, which is very nice. Witch Casket and Witch's Moon were some of the names that we heard a lot of. So Chelle ordered one from the lovely Morgan. And what month did you get, Chelle?
I believe it was June I got.
What was the theme? Do you remember?
I have it because I have the card here. Seize the magical day.
That was a fun one. That was our like everyday magic box.
Okay. A lot of these boxes have themes, and I've noticed that, each month they'll have like a different theme, which is very cool. The Witch Casket box that I got, the theme was calming magic. This was for July of 2024. For Witch's Moon, I did something a little bit different. In a second, tell me if this is the same for you, Morgan. But the Witch Casket, I could only order a subscription. I could not order back monthly caskets unless I was already a subscriber for their monthly service. So I just signed up for their monthly service. It was very easy to cancel after 1 month. They didn't make it difficult or anything. But the Witch's Moon, I could go in and just order any past month that I wanted to, or I could do a subscription. How is it for Inked Goddess, Morgan?
So we have a one-time purchase box. So if you just want to try us out, but with the current month's theme, you can do that, or you can start a subscription. We have monthly, 3-month, and 6-month subscriptions. If we have any boxes left over from a previous month, then those will also be for sale on the site, but that's never a guarantee. Like we sold out of August box. So we don't have any of those available. And I think we finally sold out of July's box, but there might be like a random May box or something on the website if we have a few left over. Yeah.
You basically have available only what you have in stock still, if any.
Yes. Yeah.
That seemed to be the same for Witch Casket and Witch's Moon. Only if they had any excess stock was it then available as a one-shot. But Witch Casket you could not get unless you were a subscriber. Witch's Moon you could. And it sounds like you can for you as well. Quick aside, Morgan, I have to say I've seen a couple unboxings of August's box from you and people love it. It seems to be a very popular box this month. So does that always go out the same time every month?
Yes, we ship on the 5th of every month and we ship all of the boxes on the 5th. So I think that was actually a really nice review that we got in recently, was that you can almost set a clock to, our box showing up on, depending on if the post office is nice, but we ship on the 5th every single month.
And I literally live halfway across the country, if not a tad bit more, and got mine in 2 days. But I did want to add, Laylla and I had agreed before we did this that we were only going to get one box from each of these folks. We weren't going to set up a subscription. And what I loved about your site was Laylla had to go through the process of subscribing and then unsubscribing. And whether it was easy or not, it's still a freaking hassle. What I really appreciated was the option to just, you're not trying to tie me down here, people. It was a one-time try. And then, if you like it, feel free. But you don't have to if you're not obligated, or maybe you just don't have the money every month and you're just going to skip a month and I'll do it when I can kind of thing. And you give people that option in a super easy way.
Yeah, thank you. We also don't charge differently for the one-time box versus a subscription. I've seen that. I don't think that any of the boxes today, I don't think they do that, but I have seen it in the past where they would be like, okay, if you want to do a one-time purchase box, it's going to cost you $5 more, or you can just start a recurring subscription and save the money. But I know what's going to happen. People will start a subscription and cancel it after 1 month just to get the discount. So I'm like, that's dumb. For the monthly stuff, we just do it. It's the same price, whether you buy one box or whether you sign up for a subscription.
So that brings up a very good point. Who buys these boxes? Why would you buy a box? Why might you want a subscription box? For Chelle, back during lockdown, there was a damn good reason she wanted a box every month. She couldn't go shopping anywhere. And so getting a monthly box of magic dropped right off at your door, that's fantastic, especially then. But even now, I loved waiting for these. I had so much fun, and it was different waiting for the box that I didn't know what was going to be in it, as opposed to the box that I knew exactly what would be in it. It was kind of fun. I kind of liked that part about it.
Well, I think there's also an element of self-control because
Is there? Is there really?
I believe I had the option to get an idea of what was in the box, not what was in it exactly, but an idea, and I ignored it
Oh, yeah, because it's fun to
because I
not
just
know.
wanted it to be a surprise.
Yeah. So that brings me to my biggest reason why I would want these is as a gift. I would want to give this as a gift, like a short-term subscription, like a 1 or a 3, or, hell, if it's you, Chelle, maybe I'll give you a 6-month or a year subscription because I love you, that kind of thing. Or someone to give it to me, hint, hint. These are fabulous gifts. How fun and magical to do that. So I think that's my number one reason why or who would want these.
In my opinion, I think these are the perfect way for people to either get a start on things or, like our whole theme with this whole jazz here, getting back on the broomstick.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't have the tools or the supplies for ritual or spell work or what have you.
Maybe your herbs haven't been used in so long they've gotten a little moldy.
Right. Or maybe you keep hearing about this Florida water stuff, but you're like, how the hell do you make that shit? And what do you do? This is a good way for folks that are trying to accumulate both knowledge, because I don't know, I didn't ask you this beforehand, Layla, but I got like a detailed card on like everything and like what it's used for. And like,
Yeah.
I got some detailed stuff here. So not only are you getting things, but you're learning things.
Yeah.
And that can be invaluable to someone who, I have the benefit of living in Salem, in which city not everybody does.
Right.
You live in a small town that doesn't have a metaphysical store or an occult shop or witchy stuff.
Maybe you've never heard of Florida water.
Right. Maybe you've never been exposed to green flower tourmaline, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
this is a way for people to gain more information and knowledge, as well as accumulate tools and supplies that they might not otherwise have access to, adding the element of fun, adding the element of it's a theme. So, you're getting a box full of stuff with a specific theme. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the 3 boxes that you all have between the two of you they're great boxes. I'm not gonna lie. Like all 3 of them are. And I do lots of research, so
Mhm.
they all are beautifully curated. So all of the products every single month fit the theme. And I think like one of the reasons we started it was a lot of what like Chelle just said, it is a lot of people don't have access to a store. And buying your stuff, trust me, I will buy stuff off Amazon all day long. But
I don't like buying witchy stuff off Amazon.
I don't either.
I'll buy an air mattress for camping, but like I feel weird buying witchy stuff on Amazon.
So do I. So that's why one of the main reasons we started it is to give people an affordable way to have supplies, but also to think outside of the box. Like a lot of people may think, okay,
No pun intended.
Yes. Yeah. But they might think like, I would love to try pendulums, but I don't really want to go out and buy a pendulum.
Yeah.
So if you're given one in a box one month, then you're going to try it. And that's one of the things about it being a surprise too. Like we do sneak peeks, we do 3. That's it. And so you will know if you want to look, you can see what 3 of the items are, but the rest of the items are a complete surprise. So it's enough for the people that are like, I don't know if I want to spend the money, but this sneak peek looked really cool, so I'll try that. But some people are like, I want the surprise. I don't want to know anything that's in it, so they don't look. Or, they're like, okay, I only saw 3 things, but we know that there's a lot more in there.
I could also see people picking and choosing different months based on theme. Like I'm interested in this theme, but maybe not interested in this theme. So I could see people wanting to kind of just like bounce different months based on what that theme is.
Yes. And that happens a lot. And that's something that like we completely understand. And that's why we do the one-time purchase, because it is something we know that a lot of people don't have the money every month, but then there are some themes that just don't resonate with people. And we don't expect, every single month to resonate, or we don't even expect every item in the box to resonate with every single person. We try to do a wide variety.
Well, you can't please everybody. That's,
Yes.
That's just the way it goes.
Yeah. No, and the variety of the things in any of the subscription boxes, I think, is another pull. Like, you're going to get a little bit of everything in a good subscription box.
And the aspect of supporting small businesses is huge, because these are a lot of times run by regular people like you, Morgan. And kind of a very fun part of this is we were doing research on these boxes to see what were people ordering, what were they liking, what were they not liking. And I loved seeing your name come up over and over and over again. I'm like, I know her. I'm like, I know Morgan. I know Inked Goddess Creations. That's kind of cool. And so that was kind of fun to just see that, and to see how this is a big popular box. Like all of these that we got here today, they're run by regular people. They're run by witches. They're run by pagans. They're run by people who really love these things. And so by supporting a box and getting yourself a gift or replenishing your supplies, you're also usually helping out a small business.
But in the same respect, because it's a small business in a local witch type person, you are getting things that are thoughtfully curated and not just mass manufactured. You know what I'm saying? There's some thought and energy put into, and that kind of leads me to what makes you pick things. So let's say you're thinking of next month's box, and I'm not telling you to tell me next month's box. We're being hypothetical here.
Yeah.
You're picking next month's box. How do you start? How do you pick the theme? And then how do you start? What do you do? You're just like, let me just start random picking items. Like, what's that process?
There's a little bit that goes into it. Sometimes it's the Sabbath or the time of year, so that we take that into consideration usually first. So what's the energy like? The second thing is what's going on in the world. I have a pretty good pulse through social media on whether witches are in a good mood, in a bad mood, fed up with the world, happy, so a lot of that goes into it. And then sometimes it's what I want. If I want something for my own practice, I'm like, well, if I'm going to go ahead and order this, I might as well just order them for everyone.
Make a box around it.
Some of them are selfishly motivated. Yes.
Now, do you plan ahead of time? Like Chelle and I have a master list of 1.5 years of episodes, and I think we've stuck to it maybe 3 times.
They were great ideas, and we'll get to them.
We will. We have a list, but we tend to jump around. So we have a list, but we don't always stick to it. Is that how it works for you in the boxes? Like, how far ahead of time do you plan these out?
So every November, December, we actually poll our customers on Facebook usually, and we ask them, what kind of themes do you want to see? And so we take that list usually in
you
about
probably
December.
Get some wacky shit though, honestly.
100%. And it is fun too, because I think no matter how many times, there are certain subjects we will never touch. Okay. I will never touch anything that has to do with cultural appropriation. So I will never touch Native American. I will never touch hoodoo or voodoo. I will never do that. And we still have people ask. And every year I'm like, okay, no cultural appropriation. I'm not going to teach people something about a closed practice that I'm not a part of. Right. But we still have people every year that ask for oh, can you do a hoodoo box? And I'm like, no, I cannot do a hoodoo box, but thank you.
Right.
So we start out, and then we sit down in about December and we plan out the whole year. Our box has been around for 8 years now. 2016 is when we started it. So that's 8 years.
Wow.
We've never stuck to the list. We have never stuck to the list.
Yes, I feel validated.
Our people.
Never. Even, in fact, right now. So right now, we've already planned October, November. We were working on December's box, and we just sat there. We always know, when we sit down to plan a box, if no one says anything, because we make it a whole group effort here. And if we're okay, here's the idea, and we all just sit there and nobody says anything, we're okay, the energy is not there for this one. What do we need to do? So we just switched December's box up we're hitting the point where some places we can't order the things that we want because of the time frame and trying to get it in during the busy season. So yeah, switching at the last minute sucks.
But yeah, you still do it.
Yeah.
Now, here comes the fun part. I have actually kept my little paws off of these boxes for the most part since I got them. So what I would like to do.
Did you really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I freaking opened mine the freaking 5 minutes when it came.
Well, don't get me wrong. It wasn't easy, but yeah, I wanted it to be a surprise.
I was mad at myself because I realized that I had discarded the box in the recycle bin and I had like strewn the stuff all about my altar area.
This is why we're friends. We're so different. Like I kept mine in the boxes, pristine, perfect.
Yeah.
Hers is strewn all over the room. Yes. It's
but
perfect.
luckily, with Inked Goddess Creations, you're provided a sweet little card that details everything that was in the box and its uses. So I was able to recollect it for this. So I have it all.
All right.
But I don't have the cute box, which is actually super cute, by the way.
Thank you.
All right, so let's go over them a little bit so people can know what to expect, including that they each came in a cute little box.
Actually, a casket.
Yeah, it does look kind of like a little casket. It's got a little lock on it and everything. Isn't that cute? It's a little casket.
See, mine had more like the triple moon on it, like my arm.
Yes, I know. I've seen the box. I absolutely love the Inked Goddess Creations box. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
I just didn't have the forethought to keep it.
Yours is the same style of box as the Witch's Moon box, which I also liked.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fold open. Yeah.
Yeah. Witch Casket comes from the UK, and that one retails for $39.
And mine was, I think, 35, I believe.
The Witch's Moon box retailed for $55.
Now, the biggest question I know that other folks have had, did you have problems with shipping because it was coming from the UK to America?
The only problem I had with shipping was user error.
That was your problem.
That was all me, man. I've moved, as a lot of you know, from way upstate New York to a mountain in the wilds of PA. I used my PayPal to pay for Witch Casket.
Who forgot to change your address?
Forgot to change my address. So I got this very scary email that said that they had left a notice and the box was there or something. And of course it wasn't. And I was very scared until I realized that they had just forwarded it to my new address. So no problems whatsoever. It was only user error. Came great, no problem from the UK.
By the way, my shit came in 2 days.
That's really nice. That's great shipping.
Because I paid attention to that because she sent emails that specifically said it would go out on the 5th. And I'm like, I wonder how long it'll take to get here. And I was like, let's see. And I'm like, that shit just like came by a carrier pigeon, man.
Now, I think I had ordered at a weird time because the subscription boxes are mailed out on a specific date. So pay attention to wherever you're buying it from. Inked Goddess goes out on the 5th. I think it was the 15th for Witch Casket or something like that. So I had a long time to wait from the time that I put in the order to the time that I got my first box.
Oh, see, I did my shit last minute. So I did mine. And then the mail date was like 2 or 3 days later.
But if you had ordered it, say, on the 8th or 9th of the month.
I would have had to wait, yeah.
Right. So just pay attention
be
to that.
cognizant of that, yeah.
Yeah. And Witch Casket, I was only able to do subscription. And Witch's Moon, I picked it out specifically. But I don't think there was a price difference depending on how you did it. So, and they did each come with a little card that tells what's in it. And I liked that because there was a thing in each one that I wasn't sure what it was. So it was nice to have the description of what it is. Yeah.
Which Witch's Moon did you get?
I got the Basome box from Witch's Moon because...
How ironic.
Right? Because I really, really wanted the Witch's Broom.
Okay.
And I would have to say, this was my favorite of the 2 boxes. Everything in here is stunning. It's beautiful. It's beautifully crafted. It's well thought out. The little brooms, you get a random little witch's broom. This is an actual miniature witch's broom. It has an amethyst on it. It's very well crafted, and they're all made specifically for Witch's Moon. The other thing in here, I know we're only supposed to say a couple things that we like, Chelle, but I also got, this box also came with a book that was made specifically for this box. It's called The Witch's Broom, and it's by Deborah Blake.
Wow.
It's all broom, magic, and folklore, which obviously I'm kind of into. There's loose incense, there's stick incense, there's a beeswax candle. There's so much in here. Granted, this is the most expensive of the three boxes that we're talking about by quite a bit.
Right.
So that is definitely something to think about. There's different price points for all of these. You might find some from your local metaphysical shop. They might be doing a monthly box. You can find some that are organized around Sabbats or different things like that, but you have to kind of look and see what price points you want and what you're looking for.
We had talked about picking a couple of things. So I want to talk about my couple of faves from my box from Morgan and Inked Goddess. My absolute favorite part of this box, I'm not gonna lie, and maybe it's because I'm a weirdo nerd. And correct me if I'm wrong. Do you do these cards every box?
No, not the daily energy deck. No.
Okay, so I got this daily energy deck, and I freaking love this thing. It comes with instructions, obviously, on how to use them. I got cards for every zodiac season, which honestly, these have good information, good info. Moon phases, Sabbats, days of the week, seasons of the year. Bravo. I love these cards. These were flipping awesome. And my second favorite thing, I got this cute little wooden box. And this cute little wooden box has these cute little tiny spell scrolls in it. And, at first I was like, what the hell am I going to do with these tiny little scrolls? And then Layla's vision of sigils came to me.
That is awesome. Yes.
Or a rune, maybe if you're a rune person, you could draw a rune on one, or you could do a sigil on one, or just any symbol that resonates with you. So I was like, these are damn sigil scrolls. And what witch doesn't like something to put things in? We all love things to put things in, seriously. My third favorite thing, and this is a big thing right now, and I never even heard of this until literally a couple of years ago. Everybody's into Florida water. Maybe you don't know what Florida water is, or maybe you don't know how to make Florida water, or maybe you don't have access to it. You sent me 2 ounces of Florida water in a spritzer bottle, as well as on my card, which my card of all the stuff in my box gives me a brief description on what I can use my Florida water for. And I thought that was a pretty cool thing because this is definitely a hot thing. And okay, I know we said we were only going to pick 3 things, but also this is kind of the same tied into it. I also got a bar of Florida water soap as well. So it was almost like you were given the option to spritz it or do a cleansing bath or like part of a ritual bath sort of thing. Bravo to those. I loved those.
Thank you. I didn't know that. We did not know when we were diving into researching. I didn't know that you could get Florida water in different things. Like I've just always used Florida water. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, when I saw the soap, I was like, who knew?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Layla and I are only touching on a couple things, but I can't tell if it's 9 or 10 items, but there's 9 or 10 items in my box.
Yeah, that one was good that month. That one was pretty filled. But yeah, we have customers that collect the cards. So I've never wanted to change the format because that would mess it.
See that. And you know what? And you know what I actually said to Layla when I got my box? I obviously, because this was part of the theme, the back of the deck just says, daily energy deck. But I got a card for the Florida water. I got a card for a green flower tourmaline necklace and a white aventurine stone. I love these cards. I said to Layla, these are like tarot cards. Like I could see people getting a box and like collecting them almost deck-like.
Those are, those are included in all the boxes. Most of the boxes. We try to include the eclectic witch cards to give you more information. And you can collect them, put them into binders, all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah.
I think that this has definitely earned all of its positive reviews online.
Thank you. Thank you.
So kind of like Morgan's box that you got, Chelle. In both the Witch's Moon box and Witch Casket, they each came with a list or a booklet. The Witch's Moon box it looked very natural, which I liked a lot. And it came with 3 pages of what looked like old-fashioned, like recycled paper. and it listed all the items in the box and the significance of each one. The witch casket one is fancier. It's an actual little booklet, all in like black and gray and white. It's like a little magazine. There's a little letter from Deb and Ella, which is super cute. And then they tell you about everything that came in it. And now this was the July box. And what I love about these boxes is that they very often have like an incense and a candle. They'll have, some type of tool for your altar. Like the basome box from the Witch's Moon, that had an actual small basome in it, a little witch's broom that I could use as a tool on my altar, along with a wax candle, and it had incense and broom oil. It had a little broom spell. This one from the witch casket is calming, and it has, again, same thing. It has some incense. It has different tools. It has these cute little calming card deck where you can pull little affirmations. They have a little piece of jewelry, like Shells came with jewelry. This comes with a cute little pin, which I really love. And it has two things that I think are great. A bag, a little bat bag, and inside this bag is a little tiny felt bat and all the pieces that you need to do a spell where you stuff this bat and put in little herbs and put in the
Like
stuffing.
a puppet.
Yeah, and then sew it shut, and the whole thing is a little spell for calming. And now you've got your little bat friend and you've got your bag. But it also comes with, like Shells came with that cute little wooden box with the scrolls in it. The witch casket also has a little item. This is a little metal cup, and it has cute little symbols all on the outside of it. But it's a very heavy, solid steel cup, and it comes with little papers that you can write things that you want to release. So it's intended to burn things in.
Little burn bowl.
A little burn bowl, yeah. So you put that on your altar, and you can just write things that you want to release on these little pieces of paper and put it in there and just burn it and let them go. So each of these boxes has different items that I could use, on my altar, in my spell work. These incenses and candles and oils can be used over and over again for lots of different things. So these definitely could help build up, if you're getting back into your practice, or if you're just starting a practice, this is a great way to get tools that you might not have thought of.
I do have a funny PSA for folks if you get these boxes.
What's that?
I had an incident when my box came.
Oh no, what'd you do?
It wasn't, well, I guess it was kind of me. So when I first got it, I ripped open the box like everybody does the minute the mailman brought it. And I was like, oh, this is all cool. But then I had something to do. So I set the box here on my computer desk. I hadn't read the cards yet because whatever, I had to go do something and I was going to come back to it in a while. I have two lovely kitty cats.
Oh no.
Morgan knows where this is going because she created my box. I also got a lovely bag of an herbal blend.
Is that a little goddess and a moon on there?
It is. That's their
That's
logo.
really pretty. That's a pretty little bag.
But I want you to take note of, well, you can't see it maybe with my background. There's holes in this bag. I dare you to ask me why.
Why are there holes in the bag, Chelle?
Because I didn't read the card when I opened it, and I set it on my desk, and my cute bag of herbs had catnip in it, and then I shut the cats in the bedroom, and I came in and there's herbs all over my desk, and I'm like, I should have read that damn card before I freaking left it in the cat's way.
That's classic.
So, the PSA I have for folks is if you do get an herbal blend, read the ingredients before leaving it unattended in front of your animals.
Yes.
That's a smart thing to do.
My cats love your herbal blend, by the way.
We've had so many customers send us pictures of their cats obsessed with our box, just because, there's usually herbs or herbal something in it, but we put stuff together.
Mine specifically had catnip in it.
Yeah, that one had catnip in it.
So I have to keep it up on a shelf because of the cats.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I should have read those ingredients.
Couple small little nitpicky things. I really love how Witch Casket has everything all themed. Like all the little boxes inside the box are all cute and they're all themed together and everything. And that's great. And I really like it. But I did not like their packing peanuts. I did not love their packing peanuts.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
Oh, those are the devil.
I didn't even know people still use those.
I have not yet checked their website, and I will correct this. Future Layla will pop in here if I need to correct this. These could be biodegradable ones. I know there are some that are more earth conscious than others. I don't know for sure yet.
I believe I had brown paper Is that right? Yeah, I had brown paper.
In the Witch's Moon, however, they had brown paper, recycled brown paper. And I liked that a lot better. Their packaging was paper bags and the brown
Nice.
paper. And honestly, as cute as the witch casket stuff is, and it's super cute, I kind of prefer the paper. I really do. So, especially if I'm going to be getting these like every single month, I would much rather recycle a bunch of brown paper than have this, this unrecyclable cardboard. It's super cute, but I'm never going to use this box again. It's very
Right.
pretty and it'll look great in an unboxing video, but then I'm going to throw it away because I can't recycle this type of cardboard. So, those are my only complaints with that. Hey witches, future Layla here. I did check with Witch Casket, and they said for each and every casket sold, one tree is planted. This is in addition to avoiding single-use plastics when sourcing for our caskets, which contain only eco-friendly packaging solutions and ethically sourced products, which are cruelty-free and vegan. Bravo! 5 brooms up to Witch Casket. Future Layla out. There are a couple things in each box, like you'd said earlier, Morgan. There's stuff that I probably won't use necessarily as much. But overall, every single thing in these boxes made me happy. I was super thrilled to pull out every little item in the boxes. Even things that I wouldn't necessarily use all the time are still a lot of fun and still made me really happy.
And I wanted to mention one small critique I had, and it's easier for you, Layla, because we're not interviewing the people who made up your box.
It's
So
true.
Morgan, just take this for what it is.
Yeah.
My critique is, I'll give you an example. I went away on vacation for a week and I came back to 12 emails
When was that?
last week.
Oh, no, we just switched over newsletter platforms on July 3rd. Beginning of July, we switched over to new, and they're in the what's called learning period right now to see what the correct ratio of emails is.
It's too high. I'm telling
I
you,
know.
too high.
Yeah, no, I've had to talk with them like, okay, like y'all got a lot of stuff going on in there. And it is. We just like that was the beginning of July. We just switched over and hired
And I
a company to help us.
I understand that these subscription boxes, you are going to be put on an email list with every box, and I get that. And I get the transition. I totally get it. They just all good information. Could they compact it all into like one email a week?
I'll talk to them.
But that's my only critique. And I think if you are someone starting out in the craft and starting out in your practice, or you are coming back to it and getting back on the broomstick, I think these boxes, even if you do a one and done or you skip around, even if you cannot commit to a subscription, I do find value in these. Maybe for a more seasoned witch, you might want to pick and choose a little more because it might be, I don't want to say you might have all the things already or part of the things, but that could be the case. But for someone who is looking for, at least in my experience, you're getting information and knowledge as well as stuff. These are badass. These are badass, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely have to say that these are a lot of fun. I am someone who moves a lot, and so I am building up some things a little bit. So this helps with that. But above and beyond that, these were just really freaking fun to get and to wait for. And it's all quality, beautiful stuff that I'll be very happy to use. But Morgan, for you, what's your favorite part of putting these together? Is there a formula that you use when you put these together, or do you just, there's always a candle, there's always an incense, or do you just kind of wing it?
Because you told us how you kind of pick themes, but how do you pick products?
Yeah.
We always have a candle just because most of the candles are made for us by a local candle maker. So
Oh,
we
nice.
make sure to include her, every month.
I like that even better.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Keeping everything kind of local.
And then we try to do like a mist or oil or herb blend or something like that. And then we like to throw in what we call a big ticket item. So that's going to be something that's kind of like, ooh,
Right. The ooh factor.
Yes.
Yeah, the ooh and ah factor.
But other than that, it depends on the theme. So sometimes there'll be a few less items, but they'll be bigger. But then some months we're like lots of tiny things. That's what makes us happy. So we've tried to stick to a formula in the past, and it kind of stifles the creativity around here. So that's why we're like, okay, we always have to have a candle. We try to do the eclectic witch cards, but other than that, what have we not done in a while? So yeah.
You poll the people too, right?
Yes. And we pay attention to, like we have a Facebook group for the customers, and they'll post pictures of their boxes every month. And so we definitely pay attention to what people are saying, like, oh, this was my favorite, or, oh, I didn't care for this very much. And so we have notes, we write it all down, like, okay, like this went over really well, this didn't. And yeah, we take all that into consideration.
Do you have any tips for someone who is contemplating whether or not to get a box?
Yeah, I definitely do. So the 3 boxes that you all picked are actually the 3 longest lasting boxes in the witch boxes so far to date. I believe all 3 of us were started in 2016. In 8 years of doing this, I have seen a lot of boxes come and go. So the 3 that y'all picked are the 3 longest running. So that's definitely a testament to the character of all 3 of those boxes. Yeah. The second biggest thing is there are a lot of them that are popping up around. They pop up all the time. Look at the About Us page. If they don't tell you anything about the business, there are a lot of them that are run by corporations now.
Right.
If the About Us page is extremely generic, that's a red flag, So look on social media, look to see if they are, a lot of them, like, even, I will say this, like Witch's Moon is a small business. Okay. They're very introverted, so you can't find out a lot of information about them, but all of their stuff is legit, gorgeous, so beautiful.
Blew my mind.
Yes.
My mind. Everything in this box is better than I expected. I'm absolutely in love with them.
I'm not gonna lie, I was jealous about the book. Not gonna lie.
The whole thing. I mean, I know I picked a topic that I'm interested in for this box, but exceeded my expectations. I loved everything in it.
Yeah. And while you can't find out a lot of information about them, like as much as you can, like Witch Casket or, Ink Goddess Creations, it is legit. So that's the only, in fact, out of all of them that are out there now, I think that's probably the only one where I think that doesn't fit the rule. Everybody else is pretty open. If you find, a Witchy subscription box, just go to the About Us page and look at it, because there's telltale signs of whether it's being run by a corporation or whether it's being run by a real witchy person.
If I'm going to spend the money, I want it to be something that someone who has the same, at least maybe not exactly same thoughts and opinions as me, but on the same realm as me, yes, putting thought and energy into picking out these products that I'm then going to use for my practice.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, if I'm not picking it out for myself,
I want a witch to pick it out.
Yeah, it's much more fun that way. Yeah. Now, before we let you go, Morgan, I have a couple things. Since I have your ear, I'm going to put in my 2 votes for what I would like to see. 1 is, would you ever consider a cannabis magic box? Not cannabis in it, but, related to that. And 2, would you ever consider collaboration boxes? Like, would you ever consider working with, famous or not famous, an author or someone well-known or respected in a certain practice? Would you consider collaborating with them to maybe offer a box? Not closed practice, but for something that you yourself aren't as familiar with?
So I would say that for both of those answers, for a subscription box level, just because of the level that we're at, no, just because we have to think about the majority of people.
Sure.
But with that being said, as far as smaller kits or anything, because we're not just a subscription box business. So for smaller kits or sets or anything, yes, to both of those.
Okay.
We've dabbled a little bit in cannabis magic sets in the past, and like during COVID and then maybe slightly before it, they sold out. We could not keep them in stock.
But in your defense, I could be 16 years old ordering your box, and you don't know that, and you have no way to check my ID.
Yes,
exactly.
Yes.
Very good point.
And then we are actually now we're getting ready to partner with a amazing bruja who is very hoodoo based, and it is because I don't do that, that I went to her and said, hey, could we carry your stuff in our shop? And she was like, yes, 100%. So it's not going to be a box, but it is going to be like certain products in the store, because I know that we have customers that are interested. And if I can find someone that wants to work with me, then yes, I'm definitely for that. Just not on the level of the subscription boxes, because we have to do a little bit more generic. Yes.
Kind of keep it for everyone.
Yeah.
It needs to be more accessible to everyone as opposed to so niche, or,
Yes.
you know, if it's some sort of rock fairy algae magic, not everybody's going to be into that. And so you need to maybe keep that a little smaller. Okay. Well, very cool though. I love that you have occasional boutique boxes that are a little bit different. That sounds really fun. I like that.
Laylla will add in the show notes from all three boxes, the websites, the socials, how to get a hold of folks. This was fun. I loved the whole process of the boxes and, calling Laylla all giddy. This is what I got. This is what I got. It was fun. It was fun.
Now, can you give us any sneak peeks on anything special coming up in the next few months, maybe closer to Yule or, Samhain time, something special they might be able to look forward to? Anything like that?
Yeah, we definitely go, I will say this, we definitely go darker, as the year gets darker as well. We very much flow with the seasons here. So our themes, as the spooky season comes, our themes get a little bit more like witch aesthetic, but like that darker, spookier, still functional though. So we definitely do that. And then thank goodness, I will say that our December stuff is definitely heavily fun Yuletide themed this year. Yeah, so that's going to be a great one for December. And it's so like we thought really far outside of the box for it. And I think it's going to be really fun.
That sounds exciting.
How far ahead can someone get a sneak peek of the box before it's shipped out?
We do just the 3 sneak peeks the month while we're selling the box. We do one sneak peek a week for the month. Yeah.
Okay. Just going to have to buy the damn box and find out, I guess.
Just going to have to get the box. Well, maybe if you're good, I might send you a Yule gift, Chelle, because I know how much you like. How many Christmas trees go up in your house every year?
I think the most I ever had was 16.
There you go.
I love that.
I have issues.
No, not at all.
The thing is I love ornaments. That's the whole problem. But in my defense, every year, at least one of those trees is real. Because I can't do that many all real. Come on, man.
So we know she'll be looking forward to that box. But we want to thank you very much, Morgan, for being with us. It was wonderful to see you and fun as always. So thank you for coming on the show. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Morgan.
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
Well, like Chelle said, we'll put links to everything in the show notes so people can find you and find all these wonderful boxes. There's even a limited quantity left of the Basome box. So if you want to get your own The Witch's Moon box with a custom little Basome and book in it, check them out. Link in the show notes.
Buy boxes, people. They're fun.
Chelle and I would like to thank Morgan of Inked Goddess Creations for coming on the show to talk to us about witchcraft subscription boxes today. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave us a comment. Give us a thumbs up, give us some stars. It helps people to find us and it helps the show out. We appreciate it very much. If you'd like to email us, we're at backonthebroomstick@gmail.com. You can also check out our website, Facebook, and Instagram, all of them Back on the Broomstick. So we hope you enjoyed this Solarium. We'll see you for our regularly scheduled episode on Friday. Be wise, be wicked, and keep it witchy.